Okay, I come to introduction. Basically, what is mucormycosis? Mucormycosis already to some extent it is briefed by Dipmala. So I am going to say some more about it and the ENT aspect of it and how to manage it. How can we further combat this situation? So basically, mucormycosis is a fast-spreading angio-invasive fungal infection seen mainly in the immunocompromised individual, and it is caused by fungi in the order of mucorales. The most common type that causes mucormycosis are Rhizopus species and the Mucor species. What is the epidemiology? It is a rare but serious fungal infection, also known as black fungus. The incidence has risen in the wake of ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and uncontrolled blood sugar levels during this time. So which start from the nose and the sinus and spread to the eye and brain in a manner of few days to weeks. Mucormycosis, it carries a very high mortality of 50 to 85%. It has no racial factor that predispose to it, and sex is also not affected in this case. What's the route of infection? Mainly inhalation, ingestion, implantation, as well as traumatic inoculation. Pathophysiology, as said already by our first speaker, it is angioinvasion that causes vessel thrombosis, and finally necrosis of the tissue, and that actually the causative factor of all the things that is happening. Type of mucormycosis. There are mainly 5 types of mucormycosis: rhinocerebral, rhino-orbitocerebral, pulmonary, gastrointestinal, primary cutaneous, and disseminated, out of which the rhino-orbitocerebral type has the highest frequency and mortality. So when do we suspect it? First of all, if a patient is having COVID-19 infection, the patient has diabetes, mellitus, and uncontrolled sugar values, as well as if the patient is having history of steroid uses. Clinical presentation, the patient can come with sinusitis, nasal blockage or congestion, nasal discharge. The discharge can be blackish or bloody, local pain on the cheekbone. One side, there can be facial pain, numbness, as well as swelling. And there can be blackish discoloration over the bridge of the nose or palate, loosening of the tooth, jaw involvement, blood or double vision with pain or sudden loss of vision. Thrombosis, necrosis, skin lesion can be present, and there can be associated chest pain, pleural effusion, worsening of the respiratory symptom, headache, altered sensorium, focal seizure. So rhinocerebral mucormycosis, the 50% of our case occur in diabetes mellitus, and of all the cases, 50% of total cases of mucormycosis consist of the rhinocerebral mucormycosis. Usually it occurs during an episode of DKA, where there is disruption of the host defense mechanism, thereby permitting growth of the rhizopus. Such growth is inhibited by correction of acidosis. Pulmonary mucormycosis. It is seen commonly in neutropenia, patient having chemotherapy, leukemia. Clinical presentation is dyspnea, cough, chest pain, fever. Radiologically, there can be chest consolidation, isolated mass, cavitation, wedge-shaped infarct. CT scan is the best to detect the extent. Gastrointestinal, it is very rare, and it occurs extremely malnourished person or in case of children. Clinical feature include abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting. It may present as intra-abdominal abscess or perforation of the viscus. It needs biopsy and prognosis is extremely poor. Cutaneous mucormycosis. Trauma is a predisposing factor, invasive locally, and it may lead to necrotizing fasciitis, and mortality is up to 80%. Treatment is mainly surgical debridement. Disseminated, it spreads hematogeneously, Pulmonary mucormycosis has a high incidence of dissemination. Most common site of dissemination is brain, followed by spleen, heart, skin, and other organs. So what's the approach to diagnosis? First, we should think about microbiological tests. 2 deep or endoscopic guided nasal swab or scraping of the crust or nasal mucosa is to be taken, and it should be sent for biopsy. Direct microscopy and the fungal culture to be done. Histological examination, in general, it reveals broad branching hyphae of the rhizopus invading the tissues. Radiological test is the investigation of choice, where we do contrast enhanced MRI covering the PNS and orbit with screening of the brain, plus minus non-contrast CT scan PNS and orbit with the base of the skull if suspecting a bony involvement. Contrast enhanced CT scan covering the PNS and orbit with brain if MRI is not available or if it is not visible. Now, in this all radiological, we will find air fluid level in the sinus and involvement of deep tissue according to the patient condition. CT scan of the lung can be done in case of pulmonary mucormycosis, where we can see like cavitation, consolidation. Here we can see the cavitation that is present. So how to treat? First and foremost, we have to diagnose early, and the treatment is to be done by the multidisciplinary team. And however, even with adequate team, the mortality rate is very high. Medical treatment. We have to do standard care, treat the comorbidities, oral and nasal hygiene like nasal wash, oral gargle, control the blood sugar level, and see the input-output charting. Antifungals are there. Liposomal amphotericin B is a drug of choice, where we give it 5 to 10 milligram per kg per day, up to a total of 2 to 3 gram. Preload it, we have to preload it with 500 to 1000 IV fluid to minimize the renal toxicity. When we are giving this drug, we have to regularly monitor the renal function test and the serum magnesium level. If liposomal amphotericin is not available, then we will use the conventional amphotericin or amphotericin B deoxycholate 1 milligram per kg per day. What's the duration of medical therapy? Precise duration is not ascertained. In general, it goes from weeks to months of therapy. If immune defect is resolved, like diabetes is controlled, neutropenia definitely resolved, then the therapy can be deferred or it can be stopped after resolution of the signs and symptoms of infection and substantial radiological improvement. As a step-down therapy, we can use tablet posaconazole 300 milligram BD on first day and then followed by 300 milligram OD up to 3 weeks. Surgical treatment. We have to do early debridement of all the necrotic tissue by a team of expert ENT and ophthalmologists to decrease the load of the fungus and facilitate medical team. And orbital intervention may be required in cases of gross involvement. Repeated debridement may be needed, and follow-up can be done on the basis of clinical symptom, endoscopy, radiology as per patient profile. So the keynote. High degree of suspicion is necessary. Patients with COVID-19, diabetes mellitus, steroid use in the treatment of COVID are at high risk. Prevention is better than cure. Don't delay the treatment for the lack of confirmatory diagnosis. Triple-pronged treatment, that is controlled blood sugar, antifungals, and surgical debridement. Thank you.